Okay, we'll start, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Joanna Gary and I'm the Director of Corporate Meetings and Incentives at Melbourne Convention Bureau. Fairly new to this role, so if I haven't met you yet, it's lovely to touch base with you via this webinar, and thank you very much for joining us today in what will be the first of our a series of webinars for event planners. So just going through our agenda today, we're going to give you a quick overview of the business events opportunities in Melbourne, accommodation, including accommodation options, venue suggestions, how MCB can support you in planning your event. We'll touch base on AIM 2021 and what that will look like. I'll then hand over to my colleagues Jade and Crystal at Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. We'll also have a question and answer session at the end. So if you do have any questions at all, please don't hesitate just to pop them in the box down below in the Q&A box on your Zoom. We will get to them at the end. So please go ahead, just ask any questions. We're here to help you today. As you know, everybody knows, the situation in Melbourne and Victoria has been somewhat challenging during the COVID pandemic. At the moment, events are not able to take place, but we are on the right path. We are hoping that there will be some movement soon in this sector. The Victorian government has developed a roadmap which outlines a slow and steady but safe way of opening up the state for business events and for other business recovery as well. We know that there will be further announcements on Sunday in relation to the opening up of the state. So for now, we just have to wait and see what the Victorian government restrictions and easing guidelines will allow us, what they'll allow us to do. But now is the perfect time to plan events for 2021 and 2022. And we certainly know that many people are doing this and many of our venues are getting booked up. So now is the perfect time to plan and to lock those venues in for next year and beyond that. Now, for those of you who don't know, we are Melbourne Convention Bureau. We're the state government's leading business event acquisition body, and we work very closely with Visit Victoria, the Victorian government, and key partners such as MCEC who are joining us today. So we are here to help you. We have a number of services that we can help you with and guide you when developing your events and event planning. So we'll go through that today as well. In terms of why Melbourne and Victoria, obviously we're a very large city, but we're also a very compact city as well. So the really good thing about having an event in Melbourne and Victoria is that you can have be in a business meeting early in the morning, and then in the afternoon you can be on the morning to Peninsula, down at Peninsula Hot Springs or playing a round of golf. So it's that real compact diversity that is a key attribute of Melbourne and Victoria. There is a variety of things to do within the city centre itself, but then within the regions that surround Melbourne as well. We obviously have a dynamic arts and cultural scene, very famous for our laneway culture, where a lot of the life of the city is. Melbourne's multiculturalism really shines through in our culinary credentials with a variety of cafes and bars and restaurants on offer. We have arguably one of the world's best event calendars, and we are the only city in the world to host a Grand Slam tennis tournament and a Formula One Grand Prix, along with the myriad of other events that we host throughout a year. We have fantastic shopping experiences, which we know is a key reason why many people love to come to Melbourne and Victoria, is for the shopping, everything from large scale malls down to bespoke laneway shopping. And we also have an expansive array of business event venues and opportunities in Melbourne and Victoria. So there really is something for everybody and every event. Sorry, I'll just go back to that slide. So this map really outlines how compact and diverse Melbourne is and Victoria is. As you can see, Melbourne is there located at number 1. And within 90 minutes of Melbourne, you have the Mornington Peninsula, Phillip Island, Daylesford and the Macedon Ranges, Geelong and the Bellarine Peninsula, the Yarra Valley. So as I said before, really easy to combine Melbourne and regional Victoria in a business event itinerary. And then just further afield, about 3 hours outside of Melbourne, you have the iconic Great Ocean Road, Grampians, Murray region, Northeast Victoria and Gippsland. So I think one of the things that's really evident in Victoria is the variety of different experiences that are on offer and the ease of which it is to get to them. Our major event calendar, perfect opportunity to either have a business event that includes one of our major events or have one pre or post any of these major events, which allows your delegates to experience the joy of a major event in Melbourne in their own time. As I said before, the heroes on the event calendar are our annual Australian Open Grand Slam tennis tournament, the Formula One Grand Prix, and the Melbourne Cup Carnival, which is in November every year. We also have an array of other events as well, including major theatre shows. So we're looking forward to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child coming back on board when we're allowed to have stage shows return. And next year, Moulin Rouge, the stage show, is going to be opening in Melbourne, have its world premiere in Melbourne. So another great theatre show for us all to look forward to. In terms of our attractions, this map clearly outlines how easy it is to get to all of Melbourne's major attractions. As you can see, they're quite close together there on that map. And that grey zone on that map is also our free tram zone. So it's quite easy to walk to any of these attractions, but also to jump on a tram at no cost and travel to each of these attractions. And to walk, Melbourne's a very flat city, and to walk from one end, from Spring Street down to Docklands, it takes approximately 30 minutes. So even though we are a big city in terms of population, the actual city centre itself is very compact and very easy to get around, as it's based on this grid format. In terms of our accommodation, we do have large scale accommodation, so 21,000 rooms, and a lot of new builds in the pipeline with 8,600 rooms coming online soon. And as you can see, once again, great concentration of hotel offerings in the city centre and many surrounding the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, which is obviously the largest of our business event venues. Just touching on 3 of the new builds that are just about to finish or open now. There's a new Vibe Hotel down on the corner of Flinders and Queen Street, 206 rooms with conferencing facilities. We also have the Adina South Bank, 220 rooms with conferencing facilities and 4 stars. We also have W Hotel, which is absolutely an amazing architectural building located on Collins Street. The front entrance, however, will be on Flinders Lane with 294 rooms, so up the luxury end of the scale, this one, 5 stars, and quite a decent amount of event space will be housed within this hotel. So Adina and Vibe will be open when the city centre is open again. W Hotel, the planned opening for that is February next year. Just touching very quickly on some venue suggestions. I'll just go over these quickly because there's quite a few to get through, but very happy to send this presentation out afterwards, or you can ask us more questions about any of these venues. So State Library of Victoria, beautiful heritage library in the city centre, built in 1854. There's 9 different event spaces, so catering from everything from seminars for 10 delegates up to big, large scale cocktail parties. And this venue is managed by the Showtime Event Group in terms of the event hire and setup. South Wharf Precinct, which is right next to the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. There's a number of venues here, allows for indoor and outdoor events, including degustation dinners, Riverside, as you can see, lawn table Riverside dining, as well as cocktail parties, outdoor events, etc., conferencing, all within this event right on the side of the Yarra. Royal Exhibition Building, so up the top of town, in the beautifully located in the Carlton Gardens. So built in 1879, it's a World Heritage listed building. The exterior and the dome is currently undergoing renovation, and that should be completed towards the end of this year. So it's a large venue, best suited for big special events such as award ceremonies or gala dinners. Melbourne Olympic Parks is about to open Centrepiece towards the end of next year. So it will be the newest conferencing and event facility in Melbourne, located at Melbourne Park, which is the home of the Tennis Open. So the new venues include a grand hall, an auditorium and meeting rooms, Plus, they also have existing event spaces within the precinct. They are taking bookings now and scheduled to be open, as I said, at the end of next year. Melbourne Cricket Ground, there are several meeting and event options within the grandstands of the MCG. And of course, you look out onto that beautiful, iconic view of the actual ground itself. The good thing about having an event here is that you can combine it with a tour of the MCG, which is a really interesting, fantastic tour. Plus, the MCG is also home to the Australian Sports Museum, which is one of the largest sporting museums in the world. Just recently undergone a massive renovation. So lots of interactive experiences can be had there. So it's great for team building as well. Flemington Racecourse, just 6 kilometres outside of the city centre, obviously famous for the Melbourne Cup Carnival, the home of the Melbourne Cup. They do have event spaces there for hire throughout the year. And it's also a great place to incorporate a racing themed event. There are quite a few options here to have phantom race calls, hat making, do a tour of the Heritage Centre. They're great for pictures under the famous Flemington Arch, etc. So really interesting and unique venue at Flemington. Melbourne Showgrounds, once again, just outside of the city centre, just opposite Flemington Racecourse. There are 11 event spaces here, so a really good mix of indoor and outdoor options. A lot of blank canvases on this one, so really good opportunity to create a really unique event. Mix of new and heritage listed buildings at the showgrounds, including the venue where MasterChef Australia is filmed as well, which can be hired out. Arts Centre Melbourne, located within the city centre in the arts precinct of Melbourne. Beautiful range of different venues to host a variety of events from seminars to cocktail parties. One of the jewels in the crown there in terms of options is to have a dinner on the actual stage at the State Theatre, which is one of the largest stages in the world. Beautiful venue, and then you're looking out back onto the velvet red of the State Theatre, which is a beautiful backdrop for an event. Old Melbourne Jail. This is one of our really unique options for business events in Melbourne. It was built in 1842, closed in 1929 in terms of being an actual jail. Most famous inmate there was Ned Kelly. You can have a variety of events there, including standard business events, as well as interactive events, which include, putting business delegates in jail and having police and having ghost tours and all of those sorts of things. So it can be a really fun option for business events. Also managed by Showtime Events, this one as well. So just jumping into some of the experiences that we also recommend to include in a business events itinerary when in Melbourne, either as part of team building, or you can allow downtime for your delegates to explore in their own time. So we have the Royal Botanic Gardens, which have a number of tour options, beautiful gardens located right in the centre of Melbourne. Localing tours who will create any sort of guided tour for you, everything from laneway tours to degustation bar crawls to heading out to regional Victoria. They really are the professionals in taking and developing private tours for business events. Bike tours around Melbourne with Freddie Bike Tours. Queen Victoria Market has a fantastic 2-hour foodie walking tour of the Queen Victoria Market. Urban Surf, which is one of our new attractions in Melbourne, out near the airport, which is Australia's largest man-made surfing park for or everybody who wants to have a go at surfing, or people who might be professional at surfing can also enjoy a surf there as well. Blender Studios do street art tours of Melbourne, something Melbourne's famous for. Plus, you can also do street art making workshops with them, which is a great team building activity. Jumping over to shopping now. So Chadstone, the fashion capital, which is the largest shopping centre in the Southern Hemisphere, about 20 minutes from Melbourne, Chadstone is located. They do have a bus, a bus that leaves from Federation Square on the half hour to get people to and from Chadstone. Wonderful shopping experience. They also have a tourist lounge as well, which can be hired out for events. Or if you just want your delegates to have some downtime in between their shopping, you can serve drinks and canapes and that sort of thing to them in the tourist lounge. Our observation wheel, Melbourne Star, located in Docklands, a great way to see Melbourne from up above. A flight on Melbourne Star takes about half an hour. Open Range Zoo, also about 30 minutes from Melbourne City Centre. Our Safari Park Zoo, which is managed by Zoos Victoria. Great options there for animal viewing, animal interaction, as well as to have events actually out in the grounds as well. I touched on before, Australian Sports Museum, located at the MCG. Oteo Kitchens, one of our partners located in Richmond, really good for team building activities. They do hands-on cooking classes and cooking demonstrations. And you can easily do kayak tours as well of Melbourne. We have the Yarra River running through the city centre. They do daytime and nighttime kayak tours. So a really unique way to see Melbourne from down on the riverfront. Just quickly touching on our regions as well. As I said before, Yarra Valley, Mornington Peninsula and Phillip Island are all within 90 minutes of Melbourne. Yarra Valley famous for its wineries. Melbourne, Mornington Peninsula famous for Peninsula Hot Springs. Golfing, wineries as well, particularly good with Pinot Noir as their variety there. Phillip Island, famous for the little penguins. Now's a great time to go down and see the little penguins with no international tourists, unfortunately, being able to head down there. Lots of opportunity to have an event down there and to get up close and personal with the penguins. And just moving over to just a little bit further out, Great Ocean Road. It's about 3 hours from Melbourne down to the 12 Apostles. We obviously know that that's on many people's bucket list. The Goldfields, which is home to Sovereign Hill, fantastic outdoor heritage museum, lots of interactive experiences that can be had there to get a feel of what it was like in the Goldfields in the 1850s. And Daylesford as well. So Daylesford is home to Australia's largest natural mineral springs. So the whole town is built on well-being, rejuvenation, spa treatments. So particularly we know now that a lot of businesses are focusing on employee well-being and personal development, etc. Daylesford is the perfect location for that, for a bit of downtime. Just moving on to MCB and what we can do to help you. We have a variety of options available. We can do everything from helping you with venue selection, itinerary creation, site inspections, developing. We have a number of sample itineraries on our website. We can provide images, videos, destination content for business event websites or promotional material. We can provide delegates with maps and visitor guides. We also have a number, obviously the hot topic of the day is hybrid events. We have a number of partners who are working very well in this space, including MCEC, who will cover that in their presentation. Please just contact us. There's two ways to do this. You can fill out an event inquiry form on our homepage. You'll see Inquire Now. Just tap on that button, fill in the form, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Or if you just have a generic question, anything to do with Melbourne and Victoria and or business events, please just email us at info@melbournecb.com.au and we are here to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out. We are here for you to help you and happy to answer any question, big or small. And just touching over to these sample itineraries, we have a suite of new sample itineraries available on our website with more in the making. So by the end of the year, we'll have 15 and you'll find these up under incentives and then itinerary inspiration. Really shows you how you can create a mix of different experiences within a 3 to 4 day trip to Melbourne and Victoria. And just before I touch on to AIM, I might just flick back actually. I'm just going to put up a poll just to see that you're all awake. We just like to get an indication of the events that are being planned for Melbourne and for next year. It will help us help you. So Sarah, if you're able just to put up that first poll. You're just able to let us know if you are planning on holding any business events in Melbourne, and then we can make sure that the materials that we have available for event planners are best suited to the numbers that we are expecting to come through. and thank you very much for that. We'll just pull that down. Thank you, Sarah. And then just moving on to AIM. And AIM will be running again. The Australia Pacific Incentives and Meetings event will be held in March next year at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. There'll be an in-person element from the 15th to the 17th of March and a virtual component from the 15th to the 26th of March. We will be sending these slides out so you can read more about AIM, or you can also attend the virtual gathering that they're holding, an information session on the 29th of October at 11 a.m. So please join that virtual gathering on that date. Registrations will be opening soon. And just before I hand over to MCEC, I'll just put up another poll, which will once again help us develop materials to help our event planners. And this one is about what experiences you think are most important for delegates. You can select more than one answer. So aside from coming for a standard business event, what experiences in Melbourne and Victoria do you think really entice people to want to come here for a visit? That would be really helpful for us so we can help shape materials that will help event planners. Fantastic, thanks Sarah. And now we'll pass over to Jade and Crystal at Melbourne Exhibition and Convention Centre. They're going to talk to you about the venue in general, as well as their new virtual and hybrid event solutions, as well as the COVID safe practices that they've now got in place.
Thanks, Joanna. For those of you who I haven't met previously, my name is Crystal Mutton and I'm joined by my fellow business development specialist, Jade Carter. Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre is Melbourne's destination for big ideas and inspirational events. With over 60 flexible and purpose-built event spaces, we can host 5 guests for a small meeting, up to 5,500 people for a large conference, and everything in between, including AGMs, dinners, cocktail events, seminars, and exhibitions. We're certainly not your conventional convention centre. At MCEC, we have an award-winning in-house catering team, serving local and seasonal produce, an in-house technology team, and we were the first convention centre in the world to be awarded a 6-star Green Star environmental rating. For those of you who aren't familiar with MCEC, this graphic gives you a bird's eye view of our venue and precinct. With on-site accommodation, dining, ample parking, public transport and drop-off points around the venue, getting to and from your event is ideal. The past 7 months have seen our team turn our focus to the future to ensure the business is set up for ongoing success, both now and post-COVID-19. With our customers front of mind, we've embarked on some exciting new projects, including the creation and launch of our MCEC virtual and hybrid event solutions, which I'll share with you a little later. Firstly, I'll hand over to Jade to take you through our venue safe plan.
Thanks, Crystal. I don't think any of us are in any doubt about the pandemic and that it's had a pretty major effect on the events industry, and it's going to continue to have a major effect on the events industry. And this has required us all to rethink how we deliver events in the future. So MCEC has developed a venue safe plan, and it's been developed in line with the government advice and restrictions. It highlights key practices to mitigate the risk of coronavirus transmission in our day-to-day operations. The plan demonstrates MCEC's commitment to providing a safe and secure environment. Firstly, we've appointed trained venue safe advisors. The advisors will work alongside you, our customers, guests, contractors, and employees to ensure the plan and government restrictions are adhered to. They will also be available to work with our customers to develop and implement event-specific plans. MCEC will no longer be open to the public and will provide event-only access. Event organisers will need to collect visitors' contact details as part of the event registry and provide visitors with proof of event registration in order to be granted entry. To ensure the safety of everyone who enters the venue, temperature checks are conducted by non-invasive thermal imaging at each of the building entry points. This allows multiple people to be scanned, which will save time and money by eliminating the use of handheld individual temperature guns. We have increased sanitisation and cleaning with our partner ICON, who are industry leaders in professional cleaning and sterilisation services, along with the installation of sanitisation stations. A series of decals have been placed across the building indicating the 1.5 metre physical distancing recommendation, as well as reminders on signage throughout the venue. Plexiglass has been installed at all customer service desks and food and beverage service areas. We will also provide plexiglass barriers to event organisers who are using our registration desks. We've adapted our retail and catering offerings to provide safe food and beverage service, still with the same high quality that our visitors have come to know. And all MCEC employees are trained on coronavirus safety and sanitisation protocols. If you'd like to download the Venue Safe Plan, it's available on our website. In conjunction with the Venue Safe Plan, we have revised capacities for each of our spaces. We are fortunate to have an abundance of space, and as Crystal mentioned earlier, we have over 60 spaces, and we have a few photos to show you of the venue set adhering to the 4 square metre and the 1.5 metre physical distancing. In our plenary, in full mode with a flat floor, pending government restrictions around maximum event numbers, we could hold up to 1,373 people, adhering to the current distancing requirements of 4 square metres and 1.5 metres. Normally this space would take up to 5,500. This is our Goldfields Theatre, which could take up to 324 now, or if it's combined with our Goldfields event space, 757. Our iconic Sovereign Room in cabaret style for a dinner of 100. Whilst we do have some very large spaces, many of our spaces cater perfectly for smaller numbers, which is our courtyard room, which you can see here, set boardroom style with physical distancing. As you can see, the courtyard room opens out directly onto the courtyard, 60% of which is undercover. It's ideal for breaks, and the courtyard features a 36 food cubes, each cube producing around 25 kilos of produce for Goldfields Cafe and Bar, which is adjacent to the space. This is Eureka Room 1 and 2, set banquet style. And finally, our large room in classroom. Crystal will now take you through what we can do in the virtual space.
Thanks, Jade. Recently, our MCEC team launched our own virtual and hybrid events, meaning we can now offer our customers virtual, hybrid and physical event solutions. The solution we've created is made up of 2 core elements: production, which includes the equipment and staff required to deliver a virtual event, and a new virtual event software that will allow us to live stream content over a private network to an online audience. In terms of production, we know our in-house technology team can do this and do it well. We've made a huge investment in this area over the years, from high-end cameras and recording equipment to investment in our people, like our multimedia and specialist teams. Now we can roll out the production component anywhere within MCEC, but to make it easy and more attractive to deliver a virtual event, we've created 2 live studios. The Clarendon Auditorium Studio is the larger of the 2 spaces and features a large stage, LED wall, intelligent lighting, and multiple camera types, as you can see in this image. It's suited for online or hybrid events with capacity to host some attendees in the tiered theatre seating if required. As this is the larger of the 2 spaces, it's also suited to panel sessions with up to 6 presenters with social distancing measures in place. Our press room studio is a much smaller space, suited only for 1 or 2 presenters on stage at any one time, perfect for those virtual fireside chats. The room features a green wall backdrop with a large LCD screen for presentations, basic lighting, and a single camera source. Our solution also allows us to create a brandable virtual event microsite for each and every event, which can be customized in terms of your background image, logo, color scheme, along with text and links in the information panel. The video player can also be embedded into your own website. The platform can host several concurrent live streams for larger conferences, and videos can be watched on demand if attendees miss a session or attend an alternate breakout session. The page also features either live or moderated Q&A in the form of text. Our secure cloud services offer an incredibly high-speed internet to deliver ultra-reliable video stream at any scale with advanced privacy controls as well. Whilst this is our current offering in market, the product will continue to evolve over time with further features added. You can also choose to use another platform product. At the very least, we'll be able to provide the same high quality production equipment and technical services. We can stream content to public content delivery networks such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you already have your own virtual event software, we can also discuss how we can integrate our production with your platform. Our team can certainly arrange a more in-depth overview of our offering and answer any questions you might have, so please do reach out to Jade and myself. I'll hand back to Jade.
Thanks, Crystal. So for when we can get back to meeting face-to-face, you should know that whilst we are known and recognised for holding large events, many aren't aware that 80% of our events are in fact under 250 people. For events from 5 to 250 people, we have a dedicated meetings and events team, giving you one point of contact from start to finish. Your dedicated event advisor is there to take the pressure off and the added admin out of organising your next event. Guiding you from start to finish, they will be your one point of contact so you can relax knowing that your event's in safe hands. We will continue to consistently deliver food inspired by Melbourne, pre-installed technology, including our intelligent lectern, which is simple to use and gives you the ability to control your presentation, sound and lighting all at the touch of a button, and free Wi-Fi. Just before we finish up and get to questions, we'd like to show you a short video that encapsulates our offering. We're looking forward to getting back to what we do best, albeit it'll be a little bit different to what we're used to in this changed new world. Thanks so much for taking the time to be here today. Just before I hand back, I believe we've got one more poll to put up on your screen. And I'll hand back to Joanna.
Thanks, Jade. So now we'll just take any questions that you have. I can see that we've got some already, so I'll just, sure. So to start with either Jade or Crystal, will the safety plan cost event planners for MCEC?
So the venue safe plan that we have come up with is something that's been done by MCEC. So that's at no additional cost to event planners. And we have tried to take into consideration things like such as the temperature gauges that we've put above the doors. That's going to save event planners money because you won't have to have separate staff employed to stand there with temperature guns, etc. So no, it doesn't cost event planners any money, and our venue safe advisors are there to assist in creating event specific plans for each event. So no, it's at no additional cost.
Thanks, Jade. Our next question for you as well. Did you build the custom platform specifically for MCEC?
I can take that one. So Streamshark is the virtual event platform we've chosen. So when we started to look at our virtual events, we looked at lots of different options, and Streamshark was really the one that seemed to suit what we were looking to do. So.
Fantastic. Thanks, Crystal. Somebody has asked if we can provide the documents we've referenced on our website. Yes, absolutely. have in place for COVID safe event delivery and information about hybrid events? Yes, certainly we can do that for MCEC and for MCB. So in the email that will come out to you post this webinar, we'll make sure that we have those links there for you. Great. Oh, this is just a comment, which is a nice comment. Great to see the beautiful pics of Melbourne and Victoria. It's an easy sell. Well, thank you. Hope to be able to get back over the border soon. Yes, we all can't wait for those borders to be back open to Melbourne. Do you see MCEC being open to the public again without registration for an event being held once things return to some semblance of normal?
Yeah, I think in the future, certainly we will be looking at reopening to the public. But I think in the meantime, while we're all learning to work in this new COVID normal, it will only be open for event delegates. So people will definitely need to register in order to gain access.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, we will provide you with the slides. That's no problem at all. We'll send those out in the post email that comes out. I don't think there's any more questions. I think we've answered all that are there. Oh, there we go. With regards to cost, are there costs incurred for virtual attendees? I know there are some venues, remuneration on this, sorry, I can't say that word. So are there any costs for the virtual?
Yeah, so in terms of our virtual offerings, the two studios that we've developed, we've actually developed packages to make them a little bit more cost effective and a little bit more upfront as well. So I can definitely send, if you wanted to reach out, some details around that. But it's really up to you as an event organizer if you decided to charge your attendees for attending your particular event. But definitely happy to provide more info.
Perfect. Also got this person just fixed their spelling mistake. Thank you. Just a question about funding for events in 2021. At the moment, MCB is funded. The way that we're funded and the funding that we can provide is for international delegations only, for a certain size and above. However, we are obviously, with everything that's happening, we are in discussions with the Victorian government to look to see if we can get some flexibility around that funding, and potential for anything that we can do to support national events. So we'll certainly be in contact with the business events sector should that become an option in the near future. So just stay tuned. But we are working with the Victorian government on discussing options around that. Someone's got, after much thought, I have decided to go ahead with an event scheduled for next year, but now as a hybrid event. When would I be able to visit MCEC to see the new spaces for hybrid events? Jade or Crystal?
I can take that one.
Yeah, sure.
So in terms of site inspections, we're guided by government regulations, obviously, but we definitely would love to connect with you and organise a time to come in as soon as we're able.
Yeah. So just have to wait to see what the Victorian government says around the easing of restrictions. Hopefully we might get some more news on that on Sunday. Has MCEC revised its costs for 21-22?
Yeah, we've been working on a number of different projects, and a couple of those projects have been surrounding costs. So particularly right now, while we are, or in the near future when we're hoping to open with the 4 square metre rule, and with clients requiring additional space, there's been a revision of costs there. And I do know that there are a couple of projects that are working on 2021 and beyond at the moment. But right now we have revised pricing to cater for the reduced capacities.
Fantastic. We have another question around funding from MCB, and will that have to be reduced if there are no international guests? I think at the moment we're working on a case by case basis with each of our event planners and the events that we've got on our books. And we're trying to obviously find a solution that is best suited for the client and for MCB. So if you have any, if that person wishes to contact me directly, I can certainly make sure that the right people at MCB speak to you about that. But as I said before, we are hoping that we will get some flexibility on our funding. Obviously, we're very aware of the situation, and the need to have contingency plans in place at the moment is very key for a lot of event providers. Okay, so I think we might finish up there. Thank you for all the questions. I know we've gone a little bit over time. So thank you for staying on. As I said, we will be in contact with a post email, which will have all of this information. And please don't hesitate to contact myself or Crystal or Jade if you do have any further questions or if you need any assistance at all. But thank you very much for joining us today. We will be having these webinars on a monthly basis, so keep a lookout for the next one. And also highly recommend that you join up to MCB's EDMs so that you can see what's happening in the business event space in Melbourne, and also we'll be advertising these sorts of webinars on those EDMs. So there's you can join our database through our website. Just type your email address in there on the homepage. Thank you.